guys, it's Joe. Happy Friday. We've made it to Friday. This is Pikket with Joe. I want to thank you guys all for joining me here tonight. We're going today. It feels like night. Hardly slept last night. It was a hard one watching those Raiders throw away another win there. You guys, we had an okay day on the ice yesterday. We did get that two-team parlay. What do we take? The Leafs and the Winnipeg Jets there to get it done. We've got 10 games on the ice, a lot more games than we normally see on a Friday. So big shout out to everyone who is already in. Gil, happy Friday to you too. Joe, I know I saw those messages from you last night, taking that over. Good for you. And Aiden coming in here. Thank you so much. Wild in regulation tonight. We're going to get to that game. Let's start off with the first game on the board. And that Wild is over the Edmonton Oilers. We all know the Edmonton Oilers are completely dead to me. That's for sure. And yeah, we had the Ottawa Senators again playing the Dallas Stars hard. It looked hairy at first. We saw Dallas get up in that one. But the Senators do play them hard. We didn't. We ended up getting... Who was in goal for them last night? I'm drawing a complete blank now which goalie they went with. They didn't go with Cam Talbot. They went with Forsberg. That's who it was. And they didn't win because of that, I really do think. But we did see a good game out of the Sens. They kept it tight. We got that cover on that puck line. So the first game on the board here, we have the Calgary Flames taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, this is interesting. This is the first time the Calgary Flames will be facing Johnny Hockey now with the Columbus Blue Jackets. I think we're going to see a little bit of fire out there. Well, we have so many new players on the Calgary Flames bench. There is still a lot of this team from last season. We saw how hard they played Matthew Tkachuk when he came into Calgary for the Florida Panthers. Johnny Hockey putting out a press release just, I think, more to the Calgary Flames fans this past week here, saying, you know, he didn't string anyone on in Calgary with his decision to leave Calgary. So it'll be interesting to see how they play tonight. Now, Calgary coming in as a huge favorite at minus 265 here. Columbus at plus 215, total of 6.5. Now, in this one, Jacob Markstrom is expected. If we have Dan Vladar, you don't have to worry about that. I think Dan's actually a better goalie. Corpustello here, expected for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, we saw the Columbus Blue Jackets get absolutely destroyed in their last game versus the Buffalo Sabres. Tag Thompson coming out with 5 goals in that one, a hat trick in the first period over them. I do think Columbus comes out, though, in this one. We saw them come back with those goals and get some goals. So I do like the over in this one, even at 6.5. I think we have a higher scoring game here. What I also am looking at is I break down these team totals when I like an over for the full game. Now, Calgary's team total is over 3.5. We got to pay a lot of juice on that at minus 134 for them to get 4 goals in this. Columbus's team total is 2.5. Calgary's had so many issues defensively. With Jacob Markstrom, I do like the over 2.5 a lot more than I do with Dan Vladar. But we know Dan has let some goals in as well. I think the defense is a little questionable for the Calgary Flames. I would think in this one, Columbus can get 3 goals because I do think Johnny Hockey comes out, gets a goal in this one. I wouldn't be shocked if he did. So I'm going to look at the Columbus Blue Jackets team total over 2.5. We're getting plus money at that, plus 104. Remember, shop those lines, head on over to Betstamp, use referral code Madden. Always get the best value when placing your bets because a difference on these lines can make the difference on your profit at the end of the year. So when we look at the Columbus Blue Jackets, they're in a 3 and 4 day situation. They have gone 5-1 to the over in their last 6 in that 3 in 4 day situation. So I do think they come in with a higher scoring game here. They were able to fight back in that game versus the Sabres, not getting the win, but they did get 4 goals in that game. I do think this is one they can put some goals here in on Calgary, whose defense has been letting them down, allowing those 3 goals. But we know the Columbus Blue Jackets' safest bet of this game is to take the over for the full game. Columbus allowing 4.16, 9 to the Buffalo Sabres. It was just one of those terrible games. The last time these two teams did play back in February, Calgary got a dominating 6-2 win. So you could look at Calgary here on that puck line. You're getting plus 100 at minus 1.5 on that puck line. So I don't absolutely love it. Their offense is really picking up as of late. So there is good reasoning why Calgary could cover that puck line tonight. Let's look at the next game on the board. We have the New York Islanders taking on the New Jersey Devils. Now, we got a total of 6 in this one. The New Jersey Devils rolling in at minus 205, plus 168 for the New York Islanders, who are off a terrible loss to the Blues. They allowed 7 goals. Lots of people expecting them to really come in strong defensively in this one. We know the New Jersey Devils are so solid on both sides of the puck. I can't step in front of this team. I think you can look to take them here in regulation, the New Jersey Devils. Taking them in regulation, it brings that juice down a little bit. I saw minus 135s in regulation out there. If you have faith in them here to get a nice big win here at home, they are 17-9 on the puck line for the season. Only 7-7 at home, though, on that puck line. But on the puck line tonight, minus 1.5, you're getting them plus 120. Definitely love the value here. They're coming off a win over the Blackhawks. They shut them out 3-0. Now, when we look at the New Jersey Devils, they're just been rolling. They're 18-2 in their last 20 games. They're coming in on 1 day's rest, which they play phenomenally strong on that 1 day's rest. This team is quite capable of covering the puck line, especially if the New York Islanders come in here and fall apart defensively like we saw in the last. Now, their normal game isn't to fall apart. They are only allowing that 2.7 goals per game and 32 shots on goal. But the Devils, this team should control this game right out of the gate. Islanders have played strong in New Jersey, but you guys, I don't think this is the same New Jersey team that we've seen season in and season out. They got the win in October 4-1. I'm expecting a similar style game in this one. I'm not going to touch the total. Devils in regulation, I think, is the best way to take this. And then look at that puck line at plus 120 at minus 1.5. You guys, I see you all jumping in here. Appreciate you all for being here. We will look at the Hawks in a second. Big shout out to Anthony. Big shout out here. You guys, let's make some freaking money. The next game on the board with the Pittsburgh Penguins taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Now, this is a Buffalo Sabres team that is riding high off that win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. The question here is, do they keep rolling with momentum? Is this team going to be able to produce the same thing they produced in the last game? I don't think they're going to be able to produce the same thing as we have seen, but the Pittsburgh Penguins here coming in expected to start Tristan Jarry. This team has been strong. They've won their last 3 games. Both of these teams digging deep and finding the back of opponents' nets, with the Pittsburgh Penguins averaging 3.54 goals per game and 33.7 shots on goal. And now we have the Buffalo Sabres averaging 4 and 32.5 shots on goal. Now, Tristan Jarry in for the Penguins, and then we have Anderson in here for the Buffalo Sabres. We've got 2 really strong goalies. I think Jarry is really heating up. We've seen him playing phenomenal as of late, but how can we pass the value on the Buffalo Sabres here at home? They're plus 128 here on the money line tonight. Home underdog. You guys know I love this beautiful plus money. The Pittsburgh Penguins minus 156. I don't see the value there. And for myself, if this line was closer to a pick'em, that's where I'd be getting, would be with the Pittsburgh Penguins. But you can't deny the value here of the Buffalo Sabres. We know in hockey, we got to take chances on these dogs, especially home dogs, to make money. Everyone on TikTok, I am live on YouTube. Come on over to YouTube if you want to interact. I see your comments coming in. Okay. So we're going to take the Buffalo Sabres here on that money line. Give it a sprinkle. I think the best bet in this game, though, is to hit the over 6.5. We see 7s out there already. Quickly go get this if you like the over, because it is moving. Now, I looked at that first period. Over 1.5. It's too juiced. I think both of these teams come out firing hot out of the gate in this one. But I can't get there with that over 1.5 in the first period. Now, Sidney Crosby of the Penguins, we know he is always up for getting us these shots on goals, the goals in each game. So I would look at him if you're looking to back the Penguins in some way in this game and you don't like the Sabres here. Okay, the Sabres also have won 3 of their last 4 games, you guys. So this team is playing nice. They're doing well. They're digging deep. Let's look at what you guys are coming in here. I see the Sabres coming in. I want to thank you guys all for joining me. Yeah, the Sabres team total over 2.5. That was one thing I looked at. I think we're paying a little bit of juice on that, and I didn't like how much juice was coming in. But it's definitely a great way to go for a safer bet there. Sabres on the money line and tag Thompson over 3.5 shots on goal at plus 243. Wow. That is a beautiful bet. I love it. I think I'm going to put that in right after the show. I would advise you guys to tail that one as well. Definitely a beautiful way to go with that one. I don't know if Tag can do it again. Over 2 goals. I do like him for over 2. I'm not sure if he can have a hat trick in this one again. But if you're going to take him for those 2 goals, we know the Pittsburgh Penguins have been allowing 3.04 and 34 shots on goal. With them allowing 34 shots on goal per game, Tag Thompson has every opportunity to sink it in the back of the net. He is rolling with so much confidence. And there is something amazing about an athlete that's rolling with that confidence. Miracles are able to happen. So I wouldn't blame you for hitting that. I definitely think it's worth a nice sprinkle there. The last game between these 2 teams also hit 9 goals. And Buffalo won that 6-3. That was only back in November, you guys. So I think they have every opportunity to do it again. I see people saying on TikTok, Tag for the 3. I want to see him get a hat trick. I love this guy. He's digging deep, and he's really stepping up for this team. Now, the next game on the board at 7 o'clock Eastern, we have the Seattle. I almost said Seahawks. I don't know why. I've been talking NFL and NHL all morning, been all over the place. We got the Seattle Kraken here coming out, taking on the Washington Capitals. Now, the Capitals coming in here at minus 130. Why? I know the Seattle Kraken have run into kind of a cold streak here. They've lost their last 2 games, but Washington Capitals, this team still isn't 100%. Minus 130 just because they're at home. I'm not buying it just because they've won their last 2 games. I'm not buying it. The Seattle Kraken expected to start Grubauer here. Grubauer is a fantastic goalie. He's got a 3.4 goals against average, but I don't think it's a true representation of how strong of a goalie he is. I'm looking for Grubauer to come out excellent in this one. Lindgren expected for the Washington Capitals. Now he's got a 3.07. I got to take the value on the Seattle Kraken here on the road. This team offensively is averaging 3.6 goals per game and 29.4 shots on goal. When we look at the Washington Capitals, they are averaging under 3. They're averaging 2.79. I can't trust them to get these goals, especially on Grubauer. I could see Grubauer getting a shutout in this one. I think this could be a 3-0 style game for the Seattle Kraken. Actually, the more I think about it, the more I'm going to put that exact score in after. I'm going to sprinkle on that because I can see him getting the shutout. I'm going to look for him to get the shutout as well. I think Grubauer is absolutely phenomenal. Now, we have seen him limited this season since coming back from injury, but they're picking and choosing where to play him. The last time these 2 teams did play, it was just the start of December. It was a low-scoring game. The Seattle Kraken won 3-2. I can't see Washington getting a lot of goals in this one. I would say a lower-scoring game. I take the Seattle Kraken to win that first period. We know Seattle comes out strong out of the gate. You're getting great value in the first period, and I take them to win this full game. I think this is just Seattle so strong on the road as well. 6-0 in their last 6 games on the road. 4-0 in their last 4 versus the Met. And the Capitals returning home here from a road trip. Terrible situation for them. They've gone 1-4 in their last 5 home games following a road trip of 7 days or more. It's not a good situation to bet the Washington Capitals. You know, in some situations, we have taken that home team returning from a road trip. This isn't a case. You don't take the Washington Capitals returning from a road trip or the Washington Capitals versus a winning record team. They're 1-4 in their last 5 versus a winning record team. Big shout out to Josh here. And Joe, I'm glad you're riding with the Kraken with me here. You're getting plus 130 on that money line. There's the importance right there of shopping your lines, you guys. If you haven't been watching, check out Betstamp. The link is below this video as well. Use referral code Madden. Always get the best value on your lines. 10 games today, you guys. So let me know below what you're betting and what you're parlaying, everything that you're doing. The whole point of the show is for all of us to win money. So let's win some freaking money on the ice tonight. 8:30 Eastern, we'll see the Winnipeg Jets taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago, oh my God, shut out 2 games in a row. Devils and the Islanders both shut them out, both 3-0 wins. Can the Winnipeg Jets do the same thing, get a 3-0 win here over the Chicago Blackhawks? I don't think it's going to happen. David Ricci here in for the Winnipeg Jets. He's got a 3.07 goals against average. He's a 3-2 on the season. Now, when we look at the Chicago Blackhawks, we got Sonderblom expected here for them. He's got a 3.19 goals against average. We know Chicago has not been scoring. They've been completely struggling. They're home in this one. I think they come out of the gate firing. It's worrisome for me to take the Chicago Blackhawks here, but I do think we have to give them some sort of, I don't know the word. I can't think of the word. Confidence here, a little bit of confidence in them. I'm not going to take them straight up. I'm not going to take them to win this. They're plus 118 tonight. I can see a reason why they come out and get the win. The Jets here are 1-4 in their last 5 in a third game in a 3-4 situation. They're scheduling, right? They're on this back-to-back. When we look at situational handicapping, which you guys all know, I love the situational handicapping. This all points to the Chicago Blackhawks. I think you can look at the Chicago Blackhawks to get the goals in this one. If they're to win, they have to break their non-scoring streak because we've seen them not score in their last 2 games. I think there's value in taking them to come out here strong. I think if they come out right away in that first period. I'm going to take the first period over 1.5 between these 2 teams. I think we see those goals coming in that first period. It's a little juiced at minus 134. But I definitely think it's value. I think that just Blackhawks are in a perfect situation to get back on track here at home. Now, the Winnipeg Jets, though, are really strong on those back-to-backs. They've won their last 6 as a favorite on the back-to-back. But I think I have to look at that 3-4 situation and put tired legs into that back-to-back as well. So give me the first period, over 1.5 between these 2. I don't know if I'll get to the window on the Chicago Blackhawks for the full game. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull off this win. So that's where I'm going with that. You always have to look at Kane over those shots on goal. I do like it as well. We're going to get to Vegas. Vegas definitely in the first period to cover that puck line, get that money line win as well. They come out so strong off a loss too. It's a great way to go. Okay. The next one here, we have the Minnesota Wild taking on, can we just say Deadmonton? Edmonton is dead to me. I'm just going to call them Deadmonton from now on. No disrespect to everyone that lives in Edmonton and to the individual players of the Edmonton Oilers, but this team is completely dead to me. Yes, they beat the Arizona Coyotes last time out 8-2. They still didn't beat the Washington Capitals. I lost money on it, so completely still dead to me. But in this one, you guys, you have to look at a tight game out of these 2. We've got the Minnesota Wild coming in here at plus 110, the Edmonton Oilers at minus 132. Flurry expected for the Minnesota Wild. Now, let me just see if I can see. I've got to open my book here, you guys. I don't know if it's Jack Campbell or Skinner in goal for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, Jack Campbell automatically 100% takes us to the over in this game. You guys are saying it's Skinner. Okay, so with Skinner in goal, This is going to be harder to get to that over, but sitting at 6, I can still see it going over because we know how powerful the Minnesota Wild are. They're averaging that 3.12. I would have loved it to the over with Campbell. I just like it to the over with Skinner. That is my lane. The last time out, the Minnesota Wild at the start of December sunk 5 goals in this matchup, getting a 5-3 win. I think this is another higher scoring one. I think that first period is where you could take both teams to score. I wouldn't take the first period over 1.5 because the over is so highly juiced. I think it was like -170, -180 when I looked. But if you take both teams to score in the first period, you're getting beautiful plus money at +142. I think the Wild come in here, sink one fast on Skinner. We've seen sometimes these goals come in fast on Skinner and then him kind of mellow out and play a phenomenal game the rest of the time. A lot of goalies like this. When we're going to see on these top-notch goalies, these goals come in. It's normally hard and fast in that first period, or it's super late where they let one go being tired. So I'm going to take that first period, both teams to score +142. I can't back Edmonton here at -132 because, like I said, they're just dead to me, you guys. It's just where we're going with that. Victor, dead to me. Not you, but Edmonton, just dead to me. I hope that's what you're laughing at. Okay, and then the over. 4 of the last 5 meetings in Edmonton have gone to that over. Again, if it was Jack Campbell, would love this over so much more. The New York Rangers taking on the Colorado Avalanche kicks off at 9 o'clock tonight. Now, the Rangers coming in here at -154, the Colorado Avalanche at +128. And before you say, oh my God, we got to grab the Avs at home at this value, it's because of injuries. They are so injured here. I really was expecting in their last game versus the Boston Bruins, they would have a next man up situation because I do think this team is deep. We didn't see it. We saw the Avs completely fall on their face, not able to get anything done. The Bruins just lighting up the net. I think this is another one where the Colorado Avalanche struggle. But do I want to back the New York Rangers off their big win over Vegas, which I didn't even expect them to come out and do? Here in this situation at -154, I guess you could look at them in regulation, but I don't think it's going to be as easy for them as everyone expects. I do think these next men up of Colorado come out and have a stronger game. Do I think they're going to win it? Probably not, but I just also don't find the value in New York here. If I was going to look at this total, I think the total's moved in the right direction. It was at 6, now at 5.5. I don't love this game, you guys. I hate betting under 5.5, but we do have Igor expected in goal for the New York Rangers and Georgiev expected for the Colorado Avalanche. So I would lean on this under 5.5. Again, not my favorite one here. The next game on the board, we have the Boston Bruins taking on the Arizona Coyotes. We're not going to talk the Colorado Avalanche again in this matchup. We don't want to see that again. Boston coming in here, huge favorites at -360, +280 for the Coyotes. We know the Coyotes love to play upset, and there's certain situations where you can take them to get this upset win. They've lost their last 6 games. They are returning home from what felt like a 5 million day road trip back to their families. I can't back the Arizona Coyotes here. But the Boston Bruins is so hard to find any value for this team here. Which way should we go with this one? I think you could look at the Bruins team total. You look at their team total over 3.5 if you really want to bet this. Again, so highly juiced at -140 to -145. I just don't love it. The Bruins have come into Arizona and steamrolled over the Coyotes, winning 11 of the last 12 meetings there. This team is just superior. Allmark expected for them. He's got a 1.82. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up not starting Allmark. Why put Allmark in? It's not going to be a pretty game for the Arizona Coyotes. I can't see them pulling this one off. And yeah, I agree. This is a stay away. There is no value in this game. There's no reason to bet this one. We've got 10 games on the board today. It's abnormally strange for hockey. We got two more left to talk about. We got the Philadelphia Flyers and the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, I already saw someone grabbing Vegas in the first period, and I absolutely love it here. Vegas in the first period on that puck line at minus 0.5 is plus 120. So much value there. Now we know Vegas is coming off a disappointing home loss over the New York Rangers, a loss I did not see coming for this team. They are so strong. Aiden Hill expected in goal for them, though. He's 6-2 and 1 on the season with a 2.55 goals against average. So we're not getting Logan Thompson here. The Flyers coming in expected to start Carter Hart. He's got a 2.79 goals against average. We like what we've seen out of Carter Hart so far this season. The problem with this Flyers team is they allow 3.26 goals per game and 31.7 shots on goal. Carter Hart has to phenomenally stand on his head every game. And it's just not humanly possible for him to be able to completely stand on his head. So that's why they are losing these games. Plus, offensively, this team just isn't finding the back of opponents' nets, only allowing that 2.41 or only averaging that 2.41 goals per game and being limited to 29 shots on goal. So I can't see the Flyers getting much done here. The underdog has been strong, going 6-2 in the last 8 meetings, but off a loss, I can't see Vegas losing again. They are 4-0 in their last 4 games following a loss of 3 or more goals. So looking for them to really bounce back here. They're also versus the Eastern Conference. They've gone 11-2 in their last 13. Give me Vegas in the first period. We all know how strong they've been on that puck line. Can't take a money line. It's too juicy, guys. Okay. The San Jose, I almost said Saint. The San Jose Sharks take on the Anaheim Ducks. Now, this game is in Anaheim. It's the last game of the night. If you're looking to chase, do not chase with this game. We have 2 rubbish teams here. We have the Sharks coming in here, 8-16 on the season. We have the Anaheim Ducks, 7-17 on the season. This is not going to be a pretty game. The Sharks coming in as a favorite at minus 120. And yeah, I could see the Sharks getting the win over the Anaheim Ducks. Anaheim Ducks off a big win over the Carolina Hurricanes, which the Carolina Hurricanes were in a bad situation. They got an overtime win there, 4-3. The Sharks have lost their last 4 games, but the last one out was a really tight battle with the Vancouver Canucks that went to overtime. They got the 4-3 win. Sharks in the first period is something you could look at. The Sharks have won the first period in their last 6 versus the Anaheim Ducks when in Anaheim. So that's a way to go, but the Sharks are 1-8 in the last 9 meetings. I don't want anything to do with this game. I don't think this game is one that you really want to bet, and it's definitely one you don't want to chase on. So I'm avoiding this game, you guys. It's not going to be pretty. Total 6.5. Can we see goals? Well, neither team is breaking the average of 3 goals per game, both sitting around the Sharks, 2.97, and the Ducks, 2.48. Defense is allowing so many for the Ducks. This defense is terrible, allowing that 4.15. The defense of the Sharks allowing that 3.66. So the Sharks would be the only lean I could take, but still, I think the Sharks in the first period. Look for them to come strong out of the gate. Look for them to get this early goal. And that's about it I'm looking for out of the Sharks team because they have struggled in Anaheim. The Ducks just might be quacking. Okay, let's build a parlay, you guys. We got the 2-team parlay that we pulled out of the parlay yesterday. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab a couple bets here from these games, which ones I'm liking, and then we will hit that with my keyboard, and then we will build a smaller parlay. So between Calgary and Columbus, let's do this recap. You guys, again, make sure you like, subscribe on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. You got me over the 1,000 subscribers for the month of December, way before Christmas. So appreciate you. Also, drop below this video what you are betting tonight, what you are liking. And let's go. Can anyone tell me what's happening in the World Cup game between Argentina and Netherlands? I'm kind of jonesing here, not knowing. I know Argentina was up 1-0. I need to know if Netherlands scored. I've got both teams to score. Okay, here we go. Let's recap this one. The Calgary Flames and the Columbus Blue Jackets. I am going to take the Calgary Flames team total over 3.5 is too highly juiced, but I'm going to take the Columbus Blue Jackets team total over 2.5. We're getting that at plus 104. I think it's a great way. I just saw Argentina. That is awesome. I'm so happy both teams scored in that. My bet cash. Oh, you guys just made my day telling me that. So thank you so very much. Okay. Did it go to overtime? Okay. Let's do this recap. No more soccer. Let's just do hockey before I keep going here. Okay. So Calgary Flames taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. I think the best bet in this is take Columbus team total over 2.5. We're getting beautiful plus money. That is something that I would bet on its own. Calgary's team total over 3.5. It's juiced. I do think they get these goals in this one. We know Calgary has been heating up offensively. And Calgary on that puck line minus 1.5 at plus 100. I think all three of those bets are a solid way to go. I'm going to look at, for this one, Calgary in regulation just for the parlay. Otherwise, it's too highly juiced on its own. But that over 2.5 for the Columbus Blue Jackets is my favorite bet in this game. The New York Islanders and the New Jersey Devils, you guys, I think the Devils get it done in regulation in this one. I can't see them losing to the New York Islanders. I do think this is going to be a tougher game for both of these teams. The Islanders have played really strong versus the Devils, especially in New Jersey. So the Devils in regulation, I'm going to throw into the parlay. I just can't see them losing this one. I do like the Devils on that puck line as well for a slight sprinkle at minus 1.5 at plus 120. I think they have every ability to pull off a nice 2-goal win there. The Pittsburgh Penguins and the Buffalo Sabres. I think if you want to bet anything for the Pittsburgh Penguins, you have to look at Crosby here for a shots on goal, anytime goal. If you're liking the Penguins, that's where I would go. Now, with the Buffalo Sabres coming in here off that super impressive win, you got to look at Tag Thompson here again to get these goals tonight. I've seen you guys coming in, dropping multiple. I love it. This should be a really interesting matchup here to see how the Buffalo Sabres keep winning it. I'm going to take Buffalo here to get the win at plus 128. I love the value of a home dog. You guys know I have a really hard time turning down a home dog that is playing so solidly, especially offensively for this Buffalo Sabres team. I think if you look at that total over 6.5, it's definitely a great way to go as well, because both of these teams able to get the puck in the back of the net. I'm seeing 2-2. You guys are making me happy here. So, okay, I'm losing track. Let's not lose track. Over 1.5, too highly juiced. Last time out, these teams hit 9 goals in total. Tristan Jarry really has been heating up. I think you can look at the Sabres, a team total here to throw into the parlay. I've just got to pull up if there's any changes in that, because I'm starting to see some 7s out there with this line, you guys. So I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the right information. Yeah, the Buffalo Sabres, I wouldn't bet it straight up. Their team total is still at 2.5. I'm going to hit that over 2.5. If you hit it by itself, I'm throwing it into the parlay. It's minus 172, which I would not do. The next game on the board, the Seattle Kraken taking on the Washington Capitals. I think Seattle wins this 3-0. I think the Capitals come out here and completely struggle. The Kraken, beautiful plus money here at plus 108. I think they roll in this one with Grubauer. Take Grubauer for the shutout. He's going to play phenomenal. Don't forget, he played at one point for Washington. So I think he comes out very strong in this. I think the Capitals are going to have tired legs returning home, also tired from coming home off that road trip. So for the parlay, I guess you could look at, well, I'm just going to put the Kraken. I don't care. I think they win this one. So I'm going to throw them on the money line with that plus money into the parlay. I don't blame you guys if you leave that one out of the parlay, and we will build a stronger parlay out of this one as well. I think the Kraken in the first period with that beautiful plus money is definitely a great way to go as well. The next game, the Winnipeg Jets taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. I think the Chicago Blackhawks come into this game at home frustrated off of those two shutouts. You got to give it to this team, not being able to score a goal in the last two. It's a lot of faith to have here that they're going to come out and score a goal in this first period. I do think they will, and I do think the Jets do. So instead of taking both teams to score here in case the Chicago Blackhawks come out completely flat, if they come out flat, if their defense just lets it down, I do see the Jets being able to score 2 goals in this first period. So I'm going to take the over 1.5 in the first period. We're paying a little bit of juice at -130, but I do think it's a strong way to go. And I could see a reason why. And like I said, you guys, I'm a huge situational handicapper of why the Winnipeg Jets could lose this one tonight on that back-to-back. And sitting in that third game of a 3-4 situation. I think it's going to be a tough game for them. I think they're going to have tired legs. I can see the Chicago Blackhawks pulling off this win at +118. It's not worth a big sprinkle. It's worth a slight one, not a big one here. It's just not enough value for me. But the first period over for the Jets and the Blackhawks is what I would throw into that parlay. Over 1.5. Okay, the Minnesota Wild and the Edmonton Oilers, you guys, I think both teams score in this first period versus taking the over 1.5 in the first period where you're paying too much juice. Taking both teams to score is coming in here at +142, and I absolutely love it. Now, with Skinner now in, I'm not as confident on this over 6.5, but I do think there is still value hitting it over. We both know both of these teams able to put up these goals. I would trust the Minnesota Wild more so to get the goals even on Skinner. I just don't trust Dedmonton. We're just going to call them Dedmonton from now on. They really screwed me over losing to the Capitals there. So I'm going to leave this one out of the parlay because it is counting on Edmonton, but I do think both teams to score in that first period is the best way to go, and you can't hate that plus money. The New York Rangers and the Colorado Avalanche, you guys, I think this under 5.5 is in play. I think Colorado relies on their defense, and we've got to count on the New York Rangers for Igor to really stand on his head in this one. I don't think he's going to have to play lights out because I do think Colorado will show some struggles again. We know how dominated they got by the Bruins with all of these players out. So as long as the Rangers don't capitalize on this, I think we will see a lower scoring one. So give me the under 5.5. And I do think the only way you could take a side would be take the Rangers in regulation. I just don't like their price on the money line. I just don't think there's enough value even in regulation in this one. So it's not my favorite. I'm going to leave it out. The Boston Bruins and the Arizona Coyotes, you guys. The Bruins here, their team total over 3.5 is a great way to go at -145. They should dominate over the Arizona Coyotes. Last time out in October, they got 6 goals on them. I don't see much changing in this one. Coyotes returning here from a road trip that was 5 million days long. They're now at home. This is their first game back home. I don't see them all of a sudden coming out and doing anything against the Boston Bruins. So I'm going to throw the Bruins team total over 3.5. And that's the only way I could take this game. Then we have the Philadelphia Flyers taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas in that first period, just like those comments were coming in on that puck line at -0.5 at +120, I think is one of the best bets of the day. I'm going to throw Vegas in regulation into the parlay. I think they get it done over the Philadelphia Flyers. No real thoughts on this total of 6. We do have Aiden Hill in for the Vegas Golden Knights. So it all depends on how strong he comes out. Him and Carter Hart are pretty similar style of goalies. And off that loss, I just think Vegas has the edge here. So give me Vegas in regulation for the parlay. But if you're just looking for a single bet, I would take Vegas on the puck line in the first period. And you're getting +120 for that. Okay. The last game on the board, the stay away game, the San Jose Sharks taking on the Anaheim Ducks. Don't chase with this game, you guys. Last game of the night, the San Jose Sharks. There is reasoning to take them here, but I don't like them for the full game. I'd only take them in that first period. They won their last 6 first periods in Anaheim. This Ducks team is off a huge win to the Carolina Hurricanes. I think the Sharks roll in, get that first period win, but I don't know if they completely win this because they have struggled versus the Anaheim Ducks. So I'm going to stay off that. For if I'm going to build another parlay, what I'm most confident in this matchup, you guys, I would be looking at taking out of these games the Columbus Blue Jackets team total over 2.5. I love that bet tonight. Vegas on the puck line in the first period. And let's give you one more here that I like tonight. Other one, and the Seattle Kraken. We got to take the Seattle Kraken here on the money line. That is my 3-team parlay, and that's the one I feel most confident in. So the long shot parlay would be Calgary in regulation, Devils in regulation, Buffalo Sabres team total over 2.5, the Seattle Kraken on the money line, the Jets and the Blackhawks first period over 1.5 goals, the Bruins team total over 3.5 in Vegas in regulation. The 3 ones that I like the best are the over for the Columbus Blue Jackets team total over 2.5, Vegas in that first period on that puck line at -0.5 at +120, and the Seattle Kraken on the money line. So parlay those, bet those 3 separately. Those are the ones I'm liking. You're getting value on all of those, even the value on the Columbus Blue Jackets, because that one's coming in at +104. I think Johnny Gaudreau does get a goal there. You can look at him coming against his old teammates. We saw Matthew Tkachuk able to get that goal. He fought to the very end of that game versus Calgary to get that goal, but still able to get it. I think we see the same thing out of Johnny Hockey, especially with him coming out and making all these public announcements. I think he thinks Calgary all hate him for leaving us. You know, there was a little bit of begrudgment there, but I think Calgary has come out with a stronger team. You guys, again, thank you so much for joining me here on Pocket with Joe. I will be back in 15 minutes for picks and predictions with Joe. Make sure you join me. Got a great lineup of guests. It's going to be a lot of fun. Keep smiling. Let's make some freaking money on the ice today. All the best, you guys. We'll talk soon.